Well, good evening. I'm your host, Robert Wilson, with Cowboy Wisdom Hypno Acuity and Cowboy Wisdom Podcast. Tonight, we're presenting I Cut Loose. So, when you say I cut loose or express I cut loose, why do you feel liberated, exhilarated as you express I cut loose to rise out of being a servant to my past, blasting on to my blasting on to landing daringly deft on my dreamer's paradise, rolling the dice of my fashion designer daredevilry, unsheaths my sassy sculptor ingenuity, cutting loose the unneeded gunk and funk I created, a mind full of gunk. And so as you're filling it up, as you're filling up and you feel it, just cunk the gunk. And as you cut the gunk and the funk, you stop moping around in your dopiness from yesterday and stop being a servant to your past. And as you stop being a servant to your past, that's going to be a webinar here very shortly. But as your sculptor ingenuity cuts loose the unneeded gunk, created a mind full of funky funk, a fraudulent, useless, nothing crap, and you stop having to go through the drama and the trauma and all the oop-de-doo-ips and all the blame, shame, and damn of everything. So you just cut it loose. There's a now word I call discipline. Opens my wanderer's eyes to listen, witness, and observe the panorama. Excuse me. The panorama beauty of love and joy, even when there are things going awry, that opens my wise eyes to listen, witness, and observe the beautiful, loving, and joyful events and encounters around me, you and me, as I cut loose my liberating, omniscient, optimistic, sassy, endeavoring sovereignty, busting out my bold, unflappable spirit, trendsetting, intuitive nerve, galvanizing my gut gumption to stop being controlled by outside sources and my viewpoints, opinions, beliefs, parents' way of life, and all indoctrinated, socialized, bureaucratic bullshit. As I boldly cut loose my delusions of being afraid of my chaotic crap, of yesterday's sneers, to rocket out of yesterday's dismay, to rebelliously rise of my sunrise sovereignty, shining my enterprising gallantry, energizing my savant savvy to understand I'm grand, expanding of my liberating listening, to hearken and sculpt my imaged inspirations, design my intuitive murals of moneyed up utopia, revolutionizing autodidactic literacy, streaming my movie maker magic, mystically awakened, innerrising celebrations, energizing my liberating audacity to awaken a ubiquitous dreamers, adventurers, with a canny campaigners, trailblazing Yezapossess. And as you say, cut loose, what do you feel? But that's it. You just cut it loose. Whatever it is, just cut it. Sever yourself from the severity. Open up your winner's ingenuity to walk through life. But we're afraid to cut it loose, and it's like the past. We teach history to control ourselves. Everybody, we need history. No, we need the wisdom of history. But we have the limitations, then the imprisoning. It's an imprisoning prose of history. We don't have the wisdom because we wasn't there, and the victors write the history, But if you write history and you go around and you change a couple words on every page, you've changed the misery. You've changed the significance of history. So you got to cut loose the indoctrinated history of the world and start doing the autodidact and be a comprehend the wisdom of history. Because if you look, if we got the good out of history, history repeats itself because we teach the enslaving mindsets and the warmongering muckety duck of history. We never teach or show people the liberating wisdom of history, because we're doing the same things and people are living the same way all over the world. We still can't sit down. Grown-ups, college educated, highly educated people can't sit down and communicate away the dismay they have, because they still play the schoolhouse bully. I got a bigger army than you, so I'm going to invade you. That's how silly college educated leaders are. I grew up in the ranching world and the oil field. Now, they had some leaders. Them real ranchers, they had some wisdom behind them. And in the oil field, them tool pushers, truck pushers, they had some pizzazz. They weren't scared to tell you how the cow ate the cabbage. Today, you tell people how the cow eats the cabbage, they get all, oh no, they get all flim-flam and in the flame of blame. This world's so used to blaming somebody for something, nobody takes responsibility and accountability. And it's going on in California right now. It ain't my fault them fire hydrants didn't have water, and it ain't my fault. So it must be the people that live there's fault. Politicians are the most spineless, worthless people in the world. None of them take responsibility for what they've done. All the stuff created in the United States has come out of Washington, D.C. and the state capitals. But it's really come from the enslaving business mindsets of the world, because they think, I went to college, I know more than you. Education has zero common sense and zero wisdom. And if you look at you want to look at wisdom in the stock market, listen to the man from Omaha. There's wisdom in there, but you get most of these pundits talking on these talk shows, all they want to show you is what they think they know and what they never understand. I don't listen to the Wall Street pundits because they got an enslaving mindset. And when they think a person making $50 an hour is a detriment to the country, he has no clue on what he's talking about. And most of them, if it was the 1800s, all be slave owners. But that isn't, so that's why we got to cut loose the enslaving mindsets of business and the limiting beliefs of education, and open up to the autodidact Kit Kat. You got to educate yourself with the wisdom of the world. And there's people out there with wisdom rather than knowledge. Knowledge will never rise this world out of anything. You got to cut loose the knowledge and open up to the listening, the liberating listening of your own heart and soul. You got to listen to your gut gumption to entertain your brain, to ordain your fashion designer daredevilry, color and paint the world your way. The more I understand things, the more we stay the same. I understand some things, and I'm like everybody else. I got a viewpoint, opinion, belief, but I'm really checking in and make sure I ain't being obstinate and stuck in yesterday. And when you open up your adventurous, canny campaigners celebrations and your trailblazer yazapazaz, you cut loose your your literary omnific opulent spectaculars, energizing wisdom, busting out your blissipline. I love that word, blissipline. Unleashes spectacular trend-setting ingenuity, neons gleaming liberation to beam from my heart and soul with an awesome aura, magnetizing my inner blissipline to brightly illuminate intuitive, sassy, savvy, innovating, prolific, literary, ingenious, visionary epiphanies. To understand and admire, I cut loose my sleek, unique talents of my magical mystique, busting out my fashion designer's daredevilry, colors my inner landscape with pristine peace and panorama prosperity, painting my physical scenery with panorama fun, wealth, and mammoth cash flow as I glow of gusto gratitude, streaming awesome appreciation. Now and forevermore, I soar of sovereign optimism, instigating spirit maestro prowess to cut loose my luxurious opulence, optimizes my fun of the sun's splendor, streaming peace, love every day, naturally dawning, ornery, rebellious energy to rise and shine out of the yesterday. You know, something I've really noticed in my own life, I always ask myself questions. How was today yesterday? When you wake up with the same thoughts, emotions, feelings, cussing and blaming the same people today, you're in yesterday's dismay. And did I do that? Oh, hell no. Okay, God, that was just a little lie. Hell yes, I did it. I still do it, but I catch myself now. Then I have to say, sorry, God. I apologize to God. Apologize to me to set myself free. But how is the world stuck in history? If we started teaching history in an innovative way rather in the negative way with war, pillage, and plunder, and showed the wisdom and insight and clarity of the people of that time, what would happen? You know, the misery of history is very alive today. It keeps us the same. And I understand this. So when somebody and something else you think and know from history, you listen, question the here and now with an avowing acumen, visionary omnificence, and a wondrous curiosity to move the world forward. You know, people, you don't have to agree with me. I don't care. This is how I expanded my life. But I cut loose the institutionalized education, all of the third world enslaving business mindsets to listen to people that have risen out of the mainstream muckety muck of the socialized education system to understand the world is still spinning in the dimmery of yesterday. And when people talk about what has happened to them, they keep talking about they stay in what happened to them yesterday occurs today. But you got to open up and question that with a kind of a smart ass attitude. You kind of got to be smart ass to yourself. You kind of got to make it a funny. But you know, and you really can't ever you want to make yourself laugh internally. So you got to cut loose the socialized bullshit within yourself and following the socialized trails of fail. Something else, you know, we always say, oh, that guy failed. No, that guy awakened. Failure is an awakening. But we're so afraid to fail, we stay in the dimmery of life. And, you know, that's why I use rise, energize, cut loose the caboose of yesterday, opening up to be the engine of today. You got to be the engine of your dreams to move your life forward. You might have to put 12 engines up there, but you have the electromotive force to be the 12 engines to pull your train of fame through the world. And your sleek, unique talents will show for you through life with ease. And something I understand now, I gotta stop saying I know. I understand. I've listened to all the self-help, personal growth, and there is nothing cutting loose the past. Oh, you got to heal the past. No, you liberate the now. Naturally optimize wisdom to move your life forward. But I cut loose my liberating optimism, omnific, sassy energy to look the world in the eye with a hellraiser's tenacity, and I'll rise out of yesterday to enjoy today's trend-setting opulence. Dawns my appreciating the yazapazaz. And you got to stop disliking yesterday to appreciate yesterday, because it opens your eyes for today's trailblazers bliss. Because you got to get into that blissipline within you. You know, I used to get mad over everything. And the only one that did anything to was me. Anger and hate and frustration, stress take away my day. When I'm stressing out, I need to slow down and ask the question, what am I stressing out about? Why am I stressing out about it? And you know, people tell you, oh, set boundaries, set boundaries. Boundaries are fears. The question is, why am I apprehensive about this situation? You don't have to address everything right there. You can step back, and if somebody's being, a total butthead, just say thank you. This isn't for me, and show if you're on your way. And then when you get off by yourself and ask why you're apprehensive, where was the wisdom? What was I supposed to comprehend in that situation? See, when you set a boundary, it becomes a fear. It's about attaining the wisdom, insight, and the clarity, and your life expanding event is about entertaining visionary epiphanies now, tantalizing the wise within you. Everything you think is in the outside world isn't. Everything is in here, somewhere in here. But mostly it's in the body. And see, everybody goes to cut loose everything, but nobody cuts the body loose first. The body controls the mind most of the time. And that inner dialogue from the body, it's a con artist. It would con you into giving $1 billion away if it kept you in your comfort zone. Your inner dialogue originates from your comfort zone, your opinions, beliefs, and what you always think and know. So that is a communication of liberation. And you keep asking it, why? And then you ask yourself, why are you listening to it? Why is it doing this to me? And then I said, where is the higher road for me? Where's a liminal carpet glide out of here? The more you glide and float and flow and stream, you take the thinking memory mind out of it. You cut loose the thinking memory mind. And every time you say mind, you go into memory, or the mind is looking for something to do or somebody to blame. And that's the definition in Merriam's dictionary, the Webster's dictionary. And I understand this. I took the word mind. I use the word scenery, scenarios, or my canvas or something, just to quiet that mind down, because that mind likes going into hysteria and yesterday at a high rate of speed, and then it wants to put you in the world of need. And oh my God, you're in a mell of a hess again. The sooner you let go cut loose, thinking, knowing, and talking, and open up to the blissful plan of listen, observe, witness, and question to comprehend the wisdom of every situation. You rise of your enterprising prowess to wow the world. And when you're wowing the world, the one you're really wowing is you. But it's all about, it's a body. We all want to do everything in the head, but the head's already got so much clutter, it's in the gutter before you start. And that's something I really realized. If I listen, I glisten and blisson, a bold, lively, internal, sassy tenacity, enterprising now. I think in the stink of yesterday. But I get to all cut that loose because I showed myself the way to cut everything loose. So as I cut it loose, I liberate optimism, opening sovereign energy within me to rise, shine, and expand out of yesterday. And that's something I really... Are you open to looking and see how today mirrors yesterday? Because if you're thinking and knowing and everything comes from yesterday, how is there ever a fresh pathway for you to move? And if you rise out of answers and solutions and open up to pathways, you're never caught in the overthinking of what's happening. You become liberated to listen to what's going on in your daily life. And something for me anyway, I listen to my daily life to communicate away the past, to enjoy my liberated now. And that's something I understand. You're going to listen to the people. I don't care who they are. Listen and eavesdrop on your daily life to expand and energize that visionary elegance within you to dance of your dreamer's dexterity and adventurous acumen. You listen and eavesdrop on the now, you will rise out of yesterday and out of the past with an that entertains your brain to boldly realize you're energized to expand out of yesterday. But that's why I cut loose, is to enjoy today of my luxurious opulence, streaming extravaganzas my way, today and every day in a bold, bright way. And I want to thank all the listeners for being here, and may your day be as blessed as you are a blessing to me and the world.